In this video, we're going to talk about the root cause of suffering. Hey guys, it's Abby and welcome back to another video. So, do you know what it is? The root cause. The main reason why you suffer, why I cause myself suffering, why the majority of the world does. You might be thinking, yeah, it's the assholes in the world. Yeah, it's the really bad things that happen that really hurt us. Or yeah, it's XYZ, right? Sure, that logically makes sense, but that's not true. Yes, there are things outside of us that can hurt us. But the biggest thing, the root cause of our suffering, what brings us the most pain as a human being, is our resistance to things, our resistance to situations, us thinking that things should be a different way than they are right now. So for instance, if somebody tells you something, or maybe somebody, rejects you, you have a friend, they're mean to you, you have somebody you're dating and they end the relationship, maybe you have a job and you don't get the promotion. Rather than you experiencing that first layer of what could be uncomfortable, it could upset you, it could make you feel disappointed, it could make you feel sad, absolutely. What causes us more pain and into a realm of suffering is when we resist that, when we think, okay, you know what, I can fix this, or oh no, what is it? And we start it's like a little hamster in a wheel. It just goes and goes and goes and goes and goes, and there is no end. Because our mind will continually create new avenues, new imagined scenarios, rather than just accepting what is right now and not having to do anything to change it. Our desire to change it and to reject that what is what is causing suffering. Imagine you pushing against a brick wall. The brick wall is there. Rather than accepting its presence and learning how to navigate that, what do you do now that it's present? You pushing and shoving and just thinking, okay, all these ways in which you can get rid of this brick wall. All of that energy spent, all of that pain, all of that exhaustion, all of that frustration, that is real to you. Did it change at all, the brick wall? No, not at all. Not one little bit. The only thing that happened from you looking and accepting the brick wall and you doing all the things you think are going to make it better to try to take control so that you feel a little bit more involved. The only thing is now you have all of this list of expenditure, all this pain, suffering, frustration, all the things. And if you go back to the start, something difficult happens in your life. Accepting it, sitting in that discomfort, sitting in that pain, and not feeling you have to do anything about it. Just being with that discomfort. Most of us were never taught how to sit in emotions. We think, oh my gosh, I feel uncomfortable, I need to do something. I don't want to feel upset, I don't want to feel pain, I don't want to feel disappointed, I'm going to do something to change this. That is where the root of our suffering is, when we feel that we need to, and also that we can change the situation. So there's a fork in the road every time you get presented with something. You can start practicing on accepting things. Doesn't mean you have to be happy about it. I think that is a huge part of this equation. Something can happen and you not be happy. You wish it was different, absolutely, but you are accepting that it is. It's not negotiable. It's not changeable. You have to step into that acceptance before anything else can happen. That situation, whatever it may be, maybe you lost your job. Rather than fighting and saying, man, this person's such a jerk, I never get this, I never do that, and you start going and running down just like a rabbit hole, and you start bringing up all this other pain. The only thing that really hurt you is you. Yes, absolutely. Losing a job, there's stress. You're okay, where's my next paycheck going to come from? Sure, I understand that. But what is you bringing up your past? What is you blaming other people? What is you getting, nasty and ugly and mean, how is that helping you get another paycheck? How is that helping you get closer to being financially free and abundant? It's not. It's only bringing up all these negative feelings that don't make you feel good, suffering. It's helping you to become more aware of that which you don't want. So in your RAS, you're going to be thinking and seeing these situations that you don't want because you're focusing on them, right? So when you start to understand the power that you have, that the root of suffering is not what's going to happen to you, it's how you respond to it. Are you going to resist it? Are you going to accept it? And the second thing is, what meaning are you giving it? Oh, this person, they have to move, or this person can't be my friend anymore. That must mean that they don't think that I'm very good. That must mean that they're rejecting me. That must mean that I'm not a good person and they don't think that I'm worthy of friendship. It has nothing to do with you. It has to do with them, but by you putting that meaning, by you resisting that situation, you start hurting yourself. In certain situations, yeah, somebody might start off by hurting you. And it's like if they hit you with a stick, then you pick up that stick and then you start hitting yourself. The original injury was pretty mild, but since you continually, perpetually hit yourself over and over and over, it creates a much larger and much more damaging situation. So think about the situations in your life right now. What are the things that are really causing you? There's something that bothers you, there's something that annoys you, and then there's something that's like a festering wound. What in your life right now is that from? And think about how this concept could apply to that. If you take away the meaning of it and you look at just the situation, does that bring you suffering? Is that uncomfortable, painful? Yes. But when you start putting yourself in a situation where you're resisting, it's not real, I'm going to push against it, I'm going to solve this riddle, I'm going to just rack my brain, surely there's some way around this can't be, this can't be, this can't be, this can't be. You get in those kind of mind loops rather than just surrendering and understanding that there's a higher you, there's something out there. You can call it source, God, the universe, whatever you need. There's a much greater power than you're aware of. And when you put yourself in those situations of, oh no, if this thing doesn't work out, it changes the whole course of my life. And if that happens, I'm not going to have as fulfilling or as fun or good of a life as I could have if this thing happens. And you put it on this pedestal. A lot of times it's talked about when you have that desire for something so bad, really what it is creating is a gap. And that gap is filled in with not having it. And it's like if you had a box on a table, your hand's on one side of the box, and there's a cup on the other side, and you really want that cup. Well, that box is representing your desire, you not having it really. So as you reach, as you try so hard to get it, you're actually pushing it away. Because as long as you are filled with the idea of not having it, and the pain and the discomfort and the suffering that you need this thing, the importance escalates. And anytime you have that importance on something, you put it on a pedestal, you think that you can't possibly accept this because this cannot be, and you start creating that suffering environment inside yourself, you'll never get to that what you really want, because you are creating a vibrational, it's like bubble wrap, like you're wrapping this thing in bubble wrap and you can't actually get to it because you're thinking, I can't get to it, I need it, I want it, it can't be that I just accept it. When you do that and you reduce its importance, you can start to see things as they are. You can start to reduce that isolation and start to see what is actually out there for you right now. What are you not aware of? What can you not perceive of because you're so focused on this thing? And when you have that hyper focus, not only does that make it farther away, it limits you from all the things right now that you're it's out there for you to have, but you can't perceive of it because your RAS, your subconscious, is looking at this thing and trying to find ways to perpetuate your belief that you can't have it or that you need it and something's going to get in your way. And oh my gosh, I need it so bad. Oh my gosh, why can't this? Oh, it's because I'm not good enough. Oh, I'm not so worthy. Oh my gosh, why? That is where suffering comes into play. It's not what happened. It's not the things that are happening outside of your life right now. It is the meaning that you're giving it. It is the absolute hysteria that you're creating to stop its existence instead of accepting it as it is. And now that's happening, and I'm just going to let it be. I'm going to surrender to this. That doesn't mean you just give up and you lay on your couch and you never do anything. That doesn't mean that it doesn't hurt you. But you accept that that's happening right now. And you understand that the meaning you're giving that it's happening is the root of your suffering. When these things happen in your life where something hurts you and you've got to let it go, or you've got to really just come back to you, that's the best thing that you can do, is really start looking at you and what in that situation do you feel like you need? What need is not being met if you don't have this thing, if you don't have this situation, if you don't have this person? If you can get to the root of what you feel that thing is meeting, what need is it meeting, then you will have it all to yourself. You will be able to understand yourself at a much deeper level. You will be able to end the suffering that you're in right now and move on and find it in another place in the world. And at least have the awareness of what that equation is. This thing meets a need. You feel that it's being pulled away. The biggest thing you're upset about is the need that's not being met. So if you can get to that, you can really understand yourself at a much deeper level and find a new way to fill that need and accept things as they are and not have that resistance and rejection. And give it a new meaning. Look at the things that you should be grateful for, you can be grateful for. You can't feel a sense of loss when your heart is filled with gratitude. So I encourage you to look for gratitude. If nothing else in these situations when you feel stuck, search for gratitude, because it will automatically help shift you into a much more heart-centered vibration and awareness inside yourself. I hope you've enjoyed this video. If you have, please click like. If you know somebody who can benefit from this, please share it. If you haven't subscribed, please click subscribe now. Hit the bell notification, which lets you know as soon as I release my next video, which is every single day. I'll see you on the next one.